Achoo! Oh crap, am I getting sick? I can't get sick. I can't. I have to make content. I can't. No. I need to make videos. Oh god. What day is it? Did I take too much NyQuil? Alright. We're making a video today. We're making one. Alright, maybe not today. What's up, everyone? It's Carrie, aka Nerdygirlcreates, and yes, I know I've been sick. It's been a week of chest congestion, sore throat, nasal drip, you name it. And no, it wasn't the big C. I know what you're all thinking. I wish I did know what it was so I knew how to treat it better, but I've been doing nothing but teas and soup. It's been hard, but you're not here for that. You're not. You're here to talk about manga, and it is Manga Monday, so that's what we're going to do today. But first, I need to say thank you very much, because officially we got over 600 subscribers during last Tuesday's Otaku Tuesday stream, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. I know I'm not always on schedule. I'm not pumping out the content like I should be, but we are in this together, and let's hope we can get to 1,000, but right now, let's see if we can get to 700. In the meantime, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also stay tuned to the end of the video, because I will have some sweet deals on some manga. But right now, we are going to talk about a series I am very, very late to. Yes, I know. It's got a show on Netflix. It's going into its second season. This manga's been out since, what, I think 2021? Or 2022? I forget. But, I'm finally diving into it. And I was hesitant, and there's a reason I was hesitant. And I'll discuss that during this review. But, that series is Alice in Borderland. Yes, if you've watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's the same thing. The manga is what the show is based off. This is from Haro Aso. He is the same guy who wrote Zom 100. And yes, that's the reason for my hesitation of getting into Alice in Borderland, because I did not like the direction Zom 100 took partway through the series. I preferred the whole comedic run. I don't like that it's gone more into a serious zombie series. But what I will say about Alice in Borderland is, so far, Alice in Borderland sticks to the tone of what it is. It has not steered away from that. It hasn't changed course. It is staying with what this series is. And what is this series? This series is a survival game, and I don't know if it's another dimension or a future version of the world that we live in. But it is kind of, think Squid Games, but with some supernatural horror elements to it. We have a character, he's 18 years old, his name is Ryohei Arasawa. You know me. I'm gonna go on Ryohei. What? I will practice my Japanese. Well, he's having a hard time at home. You know, his family is very big on education. His younger brother lives up to all their expectations, and he struggles in school. He's got two friends he's always hanging out with. You know, they're kind of, I wouldn't call them delinquents, but they're kind of like, you know, not interested in school because it's not easy for them. They don't do well. they don't know what they want to do with their future, because at this point, why does it matter? Ryohei, oh god.
No.
I tell you, I will be studying Japanese. He'd rather bury himself in video games and doing things with his friends. And, you know, he kind of wishes that he could escape from this reality he is in. He doesn't like it. He's unhappy. You know, it's like, why bother trying when you keep failing? And then one day, while they're hanging out at a train station, they see fireworks that suddenly go off, and their surroundings become engulfed in it. And then when they open up their eyes, they're in the same place, but everything's changed. It's like things have overgrown. It's like years have passed. And they're kind of confused about it, but Ryohei.
What?
He's got this weird sense of freedom, and him and his two friends decide, like, well, let's explore and see what this is about. His oldest friend, Karabi? I'm going to have to practice pronunciation. I'm sorry, I do. He's suspicious. He's worried that, you know, everybody's not taking everything seriously, doesn't know what's going on. As they're walking around, they end up in this place where they see food and Russian, but what they don't know is they've activated a game. And there's a woman there, and she's trying to give them all the rules of the game. Struggles with this cough and throat thing. She's trying to warn them about, like, you know, you gotta take it seriously, you gotta do what the rules are, or if you break the rules, you're gonna suffer the consequences. At first, I really don't understand what she's talking about, and then flaming arrows go flying at them. They manage to survive this first game, and the woman gives them the whole deal that you're stuck in this world, and every game you play awards you so many days. If you don't play any games and those days expire, you die. But the tricky part is, you play the games, you could die. So it's like, do you just sit around and just wait for a laser to come for this guy and shoot you in the head, or do you play a game and have a chance of survival? And that's pretty much like the consequence of this. And I kind of really like that. Sorry. I kind of like that they're doing this whole, you know, you have to play the game. It's not one of those, well, you could just avoid it and, you know, set up a house somewhere else and hope nobody notices you're there. But instead, they actually go through the games, because if they don't, they're going to run out of days. Am I making any sense right now? I'm sorry, my throat is acting up again. So, every building in this, it's Tokyo. I should say that first, Carrie. It's Tokyo, so pretty much like all the buildings they knew from their other life are there, but the buildings are now the setting for each game. So you have a place where you can go to be safe and recover and sleep, I guess, and build up your energy and maybe tend to your wounds. But again, when the time comes for a game, you have the choice to go in or not. And not going in risks you falling behind, not accumulating enough time to live. Now, these games themselves are crazy. Like, if you've seen Squid Games, they had some crazy stuff in this, but this is a hell of a lot more terrifying, in my opinion, than Squid Games. Because the second game they play, and I'm not really spoiling too much, they go into an apartment building and they meet some other people who ended up there. And while they're in this apartment building, they learn that they have to find one room that's kind of like the safe room. But In order to do it, they need to avoid being killed by a serial killer who wears a horse mask, okay? And during this game, some stuff is revealed. You meet some other players that are stuck there. A lot don't make it, but there are some interesting characters you could tell have been there for a while that have come up with a strategy and have survived long enough to kind of understand maybe like the best ways to go about things. Ugh. Alright, so first off, art. If you've seen Zom 100, the art is similar. However, it doesn't get too silly because this story is far more serious than Zom 100. Well, at least Zom 100 was in the beginning. This is about a group of guys who are, immature and, they're just like wandering through life. So you're going to have like these very expressive, funny features, like kind of like being silly, especially when they're not taking things seriously. But then it can quickly turn into very serious art form, especially when you're faced with these threats, like the serial killer in the apartment with the horse on his head. You'd have to see it to understand. The art really displays like the creepiness of like not only the threats that are coming for them in these games, but also like the scenery and how like this is not the Tokyo they know. This is a different world, and it's overgrown, and it's dark, and it feels dead. That's the best way I can put it. Dead. It feels dead. These characters go also through a growth. Those who survive. I'm not gonna ruin things. Especially a main character. He figures out that he has a skill to survive, and it's an unlikely skill, but again, it helps him with his strategy. And terrified as he is, he pushes through because he's determined to help his friends get out of this place. He's a little conflicted though, because for the first time in his life he feels alive. And he feels like he has a purpose. And as twisted as that is, you kind of understand from where he's coming from, because there's flashbacks to like his relationship with his father, who pretty much looks down at him to the point where they have people over. He asks him to go to his room and play video games and not show his face. It's this culture of, when you have a child that's not living up to expectations and you're embarrassed by them, and you go so far to treat them in such a way to hide that shame, you don't realize the effect it has on the kid until it's like pretty much too late. I mean, this is why Japan's got this big problem with people who are shut-ins or they get so obsessed with the otaku culture. He was one of these people who were probably borderline going into that before he ended up being transported into this world. His two friends are vastly different from one another. He's got the one friend who's like very self-efficient. He's very athletic, and he's not afraid of a fight. When he met them, he beat up some bullies that were picking on them. He is also very level-headed compared to the other two. He knows that they have to play these games to survive, and he's going to use what he knows best to get them through it. The other character is much more your simpleton. He's kind of your, like, scaredy cat character. The art really displays that a lot, but there's a point where he feels very frustrated with the fact that he is not as strong as the other two, and he beats himself up for that. And his friends try to point out the positives in what's happened that he's contributed. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to be enough for him to get through the end of this. But, again, there's a lot of great character development in Alice in Borderland. I really like that they don't completely switch the tone, which was my issue with Zom 100. This pretty much stays at, okay, we're in this world, and suddenly, like, everything is upside down and you're fighting for your life, and you're kind of put in this situation where you have a choice, but those choices have consequences. And you have a character who, oddly enough, is finding himself here in this really sadistic world. He's finding who he is and what his strengths are and what he can do to you know, succeed. You know, he's found his place, which is odd, but coming from where he is, you kind of get it. Now, you know there's a high stakes because people don't survive long. Haven't gotten to volume 2 yet. I know there's going to be people who are going to probably die within his own group, people he's close to. It's pretty much obvious he's the main character, so we'll have to see, like, you know, maybe they'll do something unexpected. I haven't watched the series yet. My plan is to do that, but I want to get a couple volumes in before I start, because they're already on season 2. So, it's kind of like I've been having this problem with, like, Romantic Killer. The volumes take so long to come out. I've been only watching up to the point where I was in the manga on the series. So I kind of want to get a little further ahead with Alice in Borderland, because I could see myself watching this show and getting really hooked and wanting to continue. And I don't want to surpass where I'm in the manga, because I like to do this thing where I compare the two. I want to see which was better, because a lot of the times live action adaptations are not really good. I'm fearing the One Piece live action series that's coming out. And we all know how Cowboy Bebop and Death Note went. But I think Alice in Borderland, from what I'm hearing, is one of those rare few that do live action adaptations really well. So I will be the judge of that. But for now, that is Alice in Borderland. I think it's a really good series. They have a really great character development. And this is just volume 1. They're bigger volumes, so I think they're like 2-in-1s. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of mystery. You really want to know, like, how did this place come to be and why are they dragging people into it? Why did they select them? So, art is pretty good. It's a lot better right now than Zom 100. I'm sorry to say that. I know my friend Marg, she's gonna be mad, but sorry, Marg, I love you. But I do recommend it. So that's Alice in Borderland. It is being released from VIZ Media. I would definitely say it's not for kids because there is gore and blood. So I would say 18 and up. So I almost said Zom 100 again. Alice in Borderland, I can't talk. I am in such bad shape. I'm sorry. But before we go, I do want to mention about Takara Cafe and the deals they have in manga. I have a link right below. I have a coupon code for 5% off. Please go ahead and use that affiliate link. Check out my other affiliate links below. Want to remind you, Otaku Tuesday is coming up. We're going to have a special little Valentine get-together. Talk about some of our favorite characters we think need to be in relationships. Like, seriously need relationships. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully my voice will be better. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead, comment down below. Sorry this video took so long. Struggling to get through it. But I didn't want to miss making any content for you guys, because I love you. And I'm hoping you'll come back for the next video. In the meantime, bye!